Hey guys, Marshall here with Plausibly Anything, and it's been a while since I've been on here. But today's topic is going to mainly be consciousness, and that's kind of been the focus of a lot of my Mentoring 365 playlist. Uh, we've been bouncing around lately. We've been doing some videos, kind of dissecting the female psychology, but more than anything, that's always fun. I love psychology, so whether it's man or women, how you think, it's always been a passion of mine. And I was sort of forced into uh, understanding my own consciousness. And for a long time, I was growing up. I wasn't really, you know, I was such a free flowing person that I didn't really worry about my consciousness so much. I didn't have the type of worries that you get when you're an adult. And so at some point in time, you you need to start regulating your consciousness. And so if you're not doing this, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up, and you end up, sometimes depressed. And so this is a practice that I think everybody really needs to start doing eventually. At some point in your life, you need to start understanding how to communicate with your own consciousness. And I feel like whenever I was younger, I was a little bit stubborn to this fact. Uh, Grasping the real purpose of what Christianity is. Um, I wasn't a very religious person. I came from a lot of my family is very religious, and my family in particular, my was not extremely religious. Grew up as a Catholic, um, but I think I failed to understand the how important it was to understand my consciousness. And I think that's what Jesus was doing all along, was like he was trying to perfect his understanding of the world, but also his understanding of his own mind. And the ability to regulate the subconscious. If he had certain things that happened to him, he was able to regulate his consciousness. There's part of the Bible, I believe he was in the mountains at some point in time. He spent months in the mountains, I believe, where he was swayed by where the devil tried to sway him, and so he felt he was able to overcome this. And basically, I think the devil actually wanted him to jump off a cliff or something like that, and he was able to handle that subconscious effects, these demons, if you will. And I think this is actually something that does happen. I think there is definitely some sort of divine energy that is in a lot of people, where they may be easily more swayed by the subconscious in a negative way. And so over the course of Jesus's life, he was becoming he was a philosopher in a way, but he was understanding all of these sort of components and creating this very, very strong consciousness, so that whenever something would come into his mind subconsciously that didn't matter, it didn't serve him, he was able to regulate it. He was able to understand it and push it aside. This does not serve me, in a way. So I felt like when I was growing up, I didn't have these problems. And so uh, at times, I'm sure my subconscious mind was running wild in a way. And I think even even if you go to church, that's great, but you have to understand what subconscious thoughts are happening, that are kind of just fairy dust. They don't serve you. They're very negative thoughts. They could be just sporadic. They could be all over the place. Like, where is this coming? You can even ask your mind, where is this coming from? Where is this does not serve me. This does not help me. And I think you'll actually notice that these sort of thoughts will sort of diminish in a way. And so I can't stress you guys how important that is, to find a way to sort of take back your own mind in a way. And this is something that you can do, most importantly, at the beginning and the end of the day. So a lot of times, these are pivotal points of your day. If you have enough time, I know a lot of people are so busy, they don't even have the opportunity to kind of regulate their own consciousness in a way. And so if you can take some time in the beginning and at the end of the days, you're going to be able to really experience a shift in your mentality, maybe more positive mindedness. I am a strong believer of like how you go to sleep at night will affect your next day. And so that I honestly think that going to at the time you go to sleep, I think might be more important than at the beginning of the day, because you're going to experience better sleep. You're going to experience a peace of mind when you're going to sleep, and then it actually transfers on into the start of the next day. So once again, I would say that going to sleep is the most important time to be to focus on your consciousness. Reflect on your day. Reflect on these thoughts that come into your mind, and understand them. Maybe you even need to write them down, and maybe you need to address them in a way, because there's past trauma, there's things, there's pain, there's this feeling of being a victim at times that you may experience, and these are all things that you may need to address. And the way that you address them is maybe seeking some mentorship. There's tons of mentorship. There's YouTube channels. If you're constantly spiraling in this feeling of being a victim, if you're constantly thinking about past trauma, maybe you need to check out some YouTubers. Aaron Doc, I think it's Aaron Docker, Aaron Doughty, Aaron Doughty, Dought. He does some amazing meditation walkthroughs, and he's also a really good dude when it comes to like understanding yourself as like being an empathetic person, a very emotional person. You can end up having this trouble with all kinds of things. You can even, and what I've even experienced is like there could be something going on with somebody else, and you feel like you need to help them so much, and they're not even asking for your help, and you feel like you need to do something, and it's not bad to be an empathetic person, but like sometimes you're kind of giving yourself to somebody that doesn't even want your help in a way. And so this can kind of take away some of your energy and your ability to really just focus on yourself and just be able to be the conqueror of your own realm and your mind and everything like that. So there's different tools out there. You got the meditation for the trauma, the pain, to be able to get yourself into having gratitude and these certain things that we've even talked about in this Mentoring 365 playlist. All kinds of topics. You can look at the title, even the descriptions, and we talk about all the different ways to incorporate these thought processes to help strengthening your mind and everything like that. Your ability to feel comfortable self-expressing yourself in maybe an area of where there's chaos and things like that. So this is very easy for me to self-express myself right here, but it might be much difficult in different scenarios. And I'd like to take that next step. I just recently learned how important it is, these sort of emotional triggers and things like that, your fear of stage fright, things like that. That is actually, there is almost like an abundance of energy there. Whenever you're going on stage, there's so much, like, there's tension is in you. You're super you're kind of honestly can be super focused on yourself and your mind and everything like that, and it can be a detriment. But that ability to perform in those sort of scenarios will actually strengthen your mind and strengthen your ability to even remember those things, because like chaotic events in your life, you'll always be able to remember those things. So whenever you sort of get into these chaotic events, these sort of high pressure scenarios, you're going to end up remembering them more. You're going to be able to learn more about yourself. You're going to be able to grow. And I think I definitely advise on doing those more and more often. One thing I've noticed about myself recently, and this has been a while since our past videos, is that my vocal projection is way, 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 way better than in past videos. You probably can even hear it right now. And one of the reasons why is because, and I see problems with how a lot of instructors on YouTube are doing this, and I wouldn't even have known this unless I started taking singing lessons. And that is taking a lot of air into your lower diaphragm. Whenever you're doing this for singing, you're taking this air in, and it's a bunch of stored air, and you can just keep talking and talking and talking. And so you strengthen that amount of air you can have in your diaphragm, and you can go on and on and on and on, and your vocal projection does not get hindered at all. And so these different practices, I'm practicing right now. I don't even know if I can sing that well, but I could do some things like I get relaxed a little bit too. This is like a full body thing. And so whenever you're thinking about how your vocal projection may be bad, think about yourself as like an instrument. Think about your posture and your ability to straighten up your throat, everything in a way from your diaphragm up, like you're an instrument. If you start hindering, if you start leaning over, you're going to actually obstruct your instrument in a way, which is your vocal, your throat. And so the more you can be like, everyone's talked about probably how important posture is and body language is in a public setting. And so whenever you can actually bring all those things together, it makes a lot more sense, because you're actually improving your ability to vocalize. We're experiencing some serious wind here. It's a tundra environment here in Pennsylvania. You can bring all of these things together in a social setting. Your posture will lead to vocal projection, and you'll become a completely different person out there. So as soon as you're able to sort of conquer this and practice this more, I would advise doing singing lessons, because like, even if you don't want to be a singer, this is something that can have a compounding effect on you. And so what I'm saying is, use the instrument, let your body do the work, bring up the neck a little bit even, and let your voice project off of your soft palate in your mouth, and all of a sudden you can sound loud as fuck. So this is a strategic weapon in the social settings. And this reminded me too, I don't want to forget about this. I just recently have come up with a new term. It's called, and it's something maybe we'll kind of take further into this Mentoring 365 playlist. Quantum socializing. And this is going to be the study of how energy and everything plays a factor in your ability to socialize with people. And I've never even heard of this terminology before, but I've been listening to quantum physics recently. I definitely advise that too. It is wild. The paradoxes of quantum physics is so remarkable. It actually goes along with this too, because of it's a paradox. You don't have the 100% answer on what's happening on that quantum level. Quantum socializing, you're not going to understand what exactly you're going to be able to do to get a result you want. There's a lot of different theories, and there's a lot of different paradoxes, and you just have to be able to understand that they're a paradox and move on. I mean, imagine being someone that studies quantum physics their whole life. Imagine if they were obsessed with figuring out the paradox, how it would actually make the person kind of crumble in a way. They never were able to they wanted the control to figure out the universe, and they weren't able to get it. And so it's an awesome thing to think about and study, but you need to be able to kind of detach from this desire to have this solution in this quantum realm, So there's all this energy happening around you, And so you need to understand how you can handle the energy, how you can create your own energy from even doing simple exercises like the vocal projection, and how you can create the beliefs to help solidify your conscious in a way that you aren't affected by other people's beliefs. You can accept their beliefs. You can even talk about their understanding of their beliefs in a way that's productive and collaborative, so that you're not in a way where you're kind of a black hole sucking people's energy, conflicting with everybody. I mean, you don't have to agree with anybody, but you don't have to disagree with everybody. So that's part of this paradox of socializing. There's so many different things that are happening. And it's so important to kind of find your balance, what is actually going to work for you. Being able to teeter on the scales to figure out what's working for you and what's not working for you. What is your problem? What isn't your problem? What's happening in an external world, and what certain things are actually going to serve you in a way. If you go out in the external world and you obsess about how fucking cold it is not going to serve you as much as if you can just thrive and just see that jet going across the sky, and just enjoy that. So the external world can be helpful for reference experience. It can be really helpful to solidify the person that you are. But the self-fulfilling prophecies that you can incorporate in your life will then be solidified in the future if you can manage your consciousness in a way, if you can manage yourself in a way to not be a taker, to be someone that can give value, that can be collaborative, and you're going to experience the fruits of quantum socialization. And so, yeah, it's just great. It's great fun, guys. I'm so happy to be out here today because I haven't been spending that much time outside. It's so cold outside. I'm handicapped, and I don't really enjoy the cold as much, I guess, as I used to. You know, I would definitely prefer a warmer climate. And so I'm not out here doing videos all the time, but I think this is a very, very pivotal video. It might be one of my best videos because of how the energy behind the video, really, it might be the most important aspect of this video. There's a lot of great topics, but I think I'm bringing a whole different level of energy this time. And it's really from just practicing my singing lessons. And then also just, I haven't gotten away from trying to learn new things about socializing, about how I can strengthen my consciousness. I have not gotten away from that since the time of my last video. And so I was able to sort of achieve the end product of the time that I spent meditating or relaxing, watching awesome videos on quantum physics, videos on Alan Watts and different philosophers and their way to establish a very comfortable conscious mind. And so I'm experiencing these fruits of life in a way where I'm not doing a lot of amazing things right now, but my life seems very fruitful. And maybe it even seems fruitful to you just because of the energy behind it. So don't disregard the energy. It's so important as we sort of take a dive down the concepts of the quantum energies around us, the magnetic fields. Your ability to sort of give into social scenarios and know when your energy's been taken and sort of just understand, oh, well, I gotta take a step back from this black hole of a person. They're out there, man. They're out there. They're black holes. You can tell by their vocal. You can tell that there's inner conflict in a way, and it'll affect how they're vocalizing, and it'll affect even how you can tell that their inner conflict, their ability to understand their consciousness, what's serving them and what's not, is not working out. And so it's very projected on other people. They'll even project that everybody else is negative, and they're not the one that's negative. Whenever you can see the energy behind it is like a black hole. It's like they're bent over and they're sucking the energy through their asshole. You know, it's almost like they need positive energy so much that they'll fucking rear up and just try to suck it out of the room on all fours. It's crazy. And that's theoretically. That's just like not theoretically. That's just a you know, that's just kind of a joke I've been working on, but we're just imagining. We're just having fun with it. So it's, you know, it's something everybody can work on in a way. And I even sometimes myself, I feel like I can do that too. I can be a very positive person, but all of a sudden I can get down this path where I'm just mad about a bunch of shit. And it's like, whatever that shit is, you got to take a step back from and focus on yourself, because whatever that shit is, it's not really serving you too well. And so, whether it's consuming something, whether it's playing too much of a video game and it's starting to affect your personality, whatever it is, take a step back, understand what's actually going on. And when you actually understand what's going on, you can actually go back to doing that thing, and you'll actually experience a better outcome. You'll experience a more positive mindset towards whatever it is to get you past whatever it was that was causing you to trigger in a way. And so this regulating of your conscious, you know, it can take an experience that normally would be, so you could have an experience that's a bad experience. Once you regulate your consciousness, you can go back to that same exact sort of scenario and you can have a completely different outcome. It's crazy. And so, like, if I want to do some stand-up comedy in the future, and I'm more comfortable doing this because I think I have practiced regulating my mind so much. Like, I can go up there, I can make a fool of myself, I can go out there and I probably could even like purposely offend people and not worry about it. And so that I can actually achieve laughter and everything like that. And then if I bomb, I'm going to be like, well, that was the greatest fucking bomb ever. You know, it's going to be like, well, that was a bomb, but everything seems to work out for me. And I'm going to go back and do it again because I'm ready for that. And so I'm ready for this sort of, these new steps to, in my life. You know, I'm very comfortable in being in front of a camera, whether I'm doing live streaming, whether I'm doing this video right now. And I want to just take the next steps. I'm just ready for that. And I really just thank you so much for anybody that made it this far in the video. I know it was a lot of rambling, I guess, at times. There was a lot of really good core topics at the beginning of the video. If you check out other videos, you'll experience just a new, fresh mindset on things. I was going through a transformation through all of these videos in my playlist. You'll actually be able to see, as I sort of get through these videos, one after another, they become more and more and more fruitful as I'm sort of like taking this journey into self-expression, if you will. And it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Marshall. The channel's Plausibly Anything. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, guys. Find a way to regulate that conscious, and I will see you soon.